There is a new presentation on Gemini Pretraining released by Google. There is 52 slides here, and Gemini is currently the best model in the world, and it's closed sourced. So here they're gonna reveal some information about pre-training, and hopefully we can learn something. So first, this is about the guy who's holding the presentation. We're gonna skip that. So this will mainly first talk about the theoretical things they learned and we learned as a whole field, and how inference also applies there, how to make inference better and faster. Presume knowledge, so language modeling concepts, decoder only transformers. So if you watch my channel, you're gonna know about these things. Distributed computing, not this is less familiar to me as well, but we'll figure it out. The first question, if I give you a certain amount of compute, for example, 1000 H100s for 30 days, what is the best LLM you can train? And by size, I think he means number of parameters. So should it be 1 billion, 3 billion, 7, 32, 70, 100, 200 billion, 300, etc. Here it explains, so excluding self-attention, you need 6n. So an n parameter decoder only model requires 6n matmul flops per token. So if you have 3 billion parameter model, you need 18 billion flops of compute per token. So those are 2n for forward pass and 4n for backward pass. This is the formula. It says number of flops is 6 times number of parameters times number of tokens it's trained on. So for Llama models, it's like 15 trillion tokens or something. Probably for Gemini as well. And guys, I have a feeling that Meta is spending most money and like on training their models. I don't know if I'm correct, but I have a feeling they spend more than OpenAI and Google, but may not be true. It may not be true. This does get a little bit dense, so I'm not gonna explain everything right now. I'll leave link below, I think. So if we take a look at the scaling laws from a few years ago, they found that with a 10x compute budget, parameters should increase by 5.37x and the amount of data by 1.87x. So compute is scaling fastest, then parameter count, and then amount of data is scaling a lot slower than that. Consequences for the industry, we should heavily invest in scaling model size rather than the data size. But the catch is these laws are only empirical, so they are found, they are observed, they are not physical laws that must that are always followed by LLMs. So the fitting of these laws depends a lot on the experimental setup as well as the implicit assumptions being made there. So, for example, if you have higher quality data, maybe you need a lot less data, which is the case. Then came this Chinchilla paper from DeepMind in March 2022, training compute optimal large language models. They made improvement over the previous scaling laws paper. They say you can get much better losses, so much better trainings through proper learning rate decay. So just some trick. In their experiment, they continued to do different ablations, different experiments. So first one is that we will look at is isoflops, fixed flops, so fixed compute budget, and vary model size, so number of parameters, and training tokens. So let's say we have optimal number of parameters and some. Wait, what does this notation mean? Let's read further. So fix a target flops budget, so fixed compute, train a few models, vary model size. Here you can see number of parameters going from 100 million to 30 billion, and training loss, so lower is better. So you can see here that around 1 billion parameters, you get lowest loss. So this is gonna be the most optimal parameter size for their fixed, whatever the number of flops was. So they just fit a parabola here and find the minimum. It was a bit over 1 billion parameters. And then they did the same thing, but they varied compute, they varied flops. So for a certain amount of compute, it looks like, so this is gonna be, I guess, lower amount of compute because loss is a lot higher. So this means lower model is better for lower compute, of course. But the more compute you have, the higher number of parameters is gonna be better. Here they are drawing number of parameters and flops used, and they are plotting a line here. So we can clearly see that the more parameters you have, the more flops you want to use to make it optimal. However, are there a bit of diminishing returns? So you need to use, or these are not diminishing returns. This just means that for higher number of parameters, the compute requirement is scaling more faster than parameters. But this doesn't necessarily mean, I don't see from this graph that the performance will be worse. It just means you need more compute faster if this continues to extrapolate this way. Now we also have data size and versus flops. So it looks like we don't need 15 trillion, but this is for smaller models. So here you can see how many tokens you need. How if you have this amount of tokens, you need this amount of flops, or if you have this amount of flops, this amount of tokens would work well. And so from here, you can calculate how many tokens you need for a certain compute and how many parameters you need for that compute. So Chinchilla scaling laws, the exponent of the power law is around 0.5, meaning model and data size should be scaled at the same rate. This is wildly different from the first scaling laws paper. We can take a look here. So what this shows is that bigger models should be trained on more tokens, and that if the models were following the first scaling laws by OpenAI, they undertrained. They didn't train enough on enough number of tokens. So is this the end of scaling? Well, this Google employee argues no. The argument for end of scaling is that GPT 4.5 is lower than GPT 4o on LLM Arena. So people would say like, okay, this is it. We're not advancing anymore. But Llama 4 showed that you can kind of hack LLM Arena. So their true place was 32, but with some tricks and optimizations just for LLM Arena, they got to number 2, which is kind of hacking it. So LMSys is not the end all be all. Better NN designs are still coming, and data from new sources is being added. So this person argues that this is not end of scaling. For example, mixture of experts seems to be a better algorithm. So MOE scaling laws are better, but have implications for token hunger. We are running out of internet. So what I'm understanding here is they are so good and they are training so well that we simply don't have enough data. And if we had more, it would continue training. And this graph shows that for same active parameter count and fixed 100 billion token training, MOE, mixture of experts, 64 experts, improves on dense models. So mixture of experts is better. same number of tokens, same compute. Most of his time is spent on more data sources. So even if he's about models, it looks like most of his time is here now. So multimodal data, audio, visual, 3D, videos, etc. Synthetic data. Without filter, it can help in the Stein's paradox sense. So it's this paper. I haven't read it. It's actually December 2024. Then they talk about smaller models, small model customers. You see here that they have the best models, and as you go down, they have the cheapest models as well. So to the right, it's cheapest, to the top, it's best. Then they give a bunch of these products on service and services in which they use these smaller models, especially. And then we have this Project Astra. It's a real-time assistant. And then this Project Mariner. I don't know what this guy does. Then there are a lot of just mathematics and experiments and formulas. This just seems highly technical, so if you want to check it, I'll just scroll through it. But there is nothing really here that I will remember even if I read it. Okay, so here, these are some future pre-trained research ideas. So he talks about hardware-focused kernels and tools and compiler tools and kernel programming languages, developer tools for making this. So it's about a custom programming language or tool that's better for like GPU, for like it gives like speed ups on hardware, and then quantization, and then more research on scaling laws. So that's gonna be it. You can check my channel for more videos about AI, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.